Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Legion Stadium in Wilmington, North Carolina. You're watching Wilmington Hammerheads FC on YouTube. I'm Chris Liebert. I'll be your host for tonight's matchup with the visiting St. Louis FC versus the Wilmington Hammerheads. It's going to be a great match. We've gone past the halfway mark of the season. Both teams struggle a little bit in the table, but certainly the excitement is heating up for the rest of the season. The Hammerheads entering tonight's game with a 2-8-5 record. St. Louis coming in with a 3-5-5 record, 14 points to the Hammerheads, 11 points. With me is Zach Haynes. He's going to be my partner in the booth tonight. He's going to talk a little bit about the game coming up this evening. Zach, how are you?
Doing great. Thanks, Chris. It should be an exciting one. The Hammerheads definitely showed some life this past weekend with a really, really dramatic victory. Will Heaney grabbing the game winner against Montreal. And then tough loss the next day against the Toronto 2 team. But overall, very happy to get some points on the road. I'm sure they'll come in with a lot of confidence tonight.
These Hammerheads have not had a win at home this year. It's usually been a friendly place for the Hammerheads to play all of the years that they've been in the United Soccer Leagues. So to pick up that win is huge tonight. Again, we've gone into the second half, or in the second half of the season. It's time to make that playoff run. Zach, talk a little bit of how important it is to come off of a road trip and pick up some points, but the necessity to get a win at home.
I think they just need to keep picking up points, and they need wins. They need 3 points. They've drew a lot of games this year. They need to have some consistency in terms of picking up wins, especially at home. But the one thing I think Coach Porter will be really excited about for tonight and for the last couple weeks is he has a settled lineup. There have been very few changes. Obviously, the first half of the season, there was a lot of chopping and changing in terms of the lineup, the formation. Looks like he's settled in on more of a 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1. He's got Brian Ackley playing as the center forward now, who had some success, scored a goal against Montreal this past week. And I believe he's found some continuity, and I think that'll serve him well.
Well, these fans are certainly passionate about these Wilmington Hammerheads, and it's Military Appreciation Night and fireworks after the game. So the fans are supposed to be pouring in. It's going to be a great night. It's perfect weather. It's going to be a great matchup. So hopefully that you will enjoy tonight, and we'll see you at halftime, and we'll get going with the game here in a few minutes. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Wilmington Hammerheads FC on YouTube. I'm Chris Liebert. I'll be your host. You're at Legion Stadium in Wilmington, North Carolina for tonight's United Soccer Leagues matchup with the St. Louis FC and the home side, Wilmington Hammerheads FC. With me, Zach Haynes. He'll help out to call tonight's game and all the action. Zach, welcome to the booth. Good to have you back.
Thank you, Chris.
We're going to have a great matchup tonight. These two teams not sitting as high on the table as they want to. The Wilmington Hammerheads are coming in with only 11 points with 2 wins, 8 losses, and 5 ties. And St. Louis having just one more win at 3-5-5 and 14 points. So only one game separates these two as they are battling in the second half of the season now to try to get back into the top 6 for the United Soccer League's playoffs. It's a great night. It's a little warm, a little breeze blowing, but it's a perfect night for soccer. Zach, tell us a little bit about what you've done earlier in the evening in the locker rooms and talking to these two teams on what we can expect for tonight.
Both teams coming in, they know they need to pick up points. They know they need to go on a run here in the second half of the season and get some momentum going. And hopefully push for that top 6 spot so they can make the playoffs. The Hammerheads showed some life this past weekend, as we talked about earlier. They had a great win on the road against Montreal, dramatic win, Will Heaney scoring in stoppage time. And they'll take some confidence away from that and come into the week hoping that they can continue to pick up 3 points. But that's what they'll need. They've had a lot of draws this season. They know they need to start capitalizing and turning very, very tightly contested games into wins. So both teams will be very hungry. They'll be motivated, and I think it'll make for a very good contest tonight. Great crowd on hand.
Well, it's Military Appreciation Night here, and also they are doing fireworks for the 4th of July celebration here at Legion Stadium. Usually very friendly confines for these Hammerheads. They have not picked up a win here yet this season, Zach, and it's going to be crucial that they pick up points if they want to make a run for the playoff spot.
They've been on a really good run in terms of they're competing. They're in every game. It's been one goal separating or a draw for the last 5 or 6 games. They've been right there. They finally picked up the much-needed 3 points against Montreal. But in those 5 or 6 games since the Louisville City game where they were blown out a little bit, they've been right there, and they've seemed to settle in on a lineup. And I think Coach Porter sees some consistency. They've had some injuries along the way. They had to change up formation, lineup, tactics quite a bit in the first half of the season. I think he's probably thankful that he seems to have found his starting 11 and his rotation of 12 to 13 that he feels he can count on.
Well, it's been a tough road for these Wilmington Hammerheads. It seems like every other week they're playing either Charleston or Richmond. Of course, I do understand that it's close to the locale here, closer teams in the United Soccer Leagues to the Hammerheads, and it just so happens that they're the top 2 of the 3 in the table. So it doesn't get easy, and the league this year with a true Eastern and Western Conference is good for the United Soccer Leagues. The levels come up, and it really proves to be a great league and a good experience for these players.
Absolutely, Chris. It's a league that's growing. It's a league that's getting better every year. Affiliations with the MLS. A lot of good players going back and forth. Seattle Sounders pushed one on. Andy Craven, a North Carolina product, just this past week signed to the first team. It's happening more and more. Guys are coming to the USL, and it really is a proving ground. So it's making the competition that much more fierce. After the Rochester Rhinos at the top of the table, who are really running away with it, they've been outstanding this year, and they've had only 5 goals against. After that, it's pretty close, and there's not too much in between the teams throughout the rest of the table. Obviously, Richmond and Charleston, as you mentioned, 2 teams closest to Wilmington, have had wonderful seasons, but there's not too many points separating everybody after that, so I know the Hammerheads are still looking optimistically that they can get on a run and push for the top 6.
Well, we're about ready to get set here for the kickoff as we see our referees for tonight, and we're going to get set for the singing of the national anthem. Again, it's Military Appreciation Night. You see the Wilmington Hammerheads in a unique uniform, unlike anything that's ever been done here before. Again, they are raising money for the North Carolina Battleship. These jerseys will be auctioned off at the end of the game tonight, and it's been going on all week, so it's really going to be something special again for these fans. It's going to be a packed house, and it should be a great matchup. And as we get going here for this match between St. Louis and Wilmington Hammerheads, we'll look at the starting lineups first for St. Louis. In goal, Alec Kahn, Parker Marr, Sam Fink, Chad Vandergriff, and Jacob Bushu to be completing the back line. In the midfield, Brian Siluska, Jameel Hardware, and Brian Gall in the midfield. Kingsley Bryce, the number 27 jersey, Jeremy Lynch up top, and Charles Rankin for the Wilmington Hammerheads, and Carson Porter on his side. In goal, Andre Rawls, Tom Parrott, Troy Cole, and Fran Martinez and Andre Campbell to complete the back 4. Paul Nicholson, number 8, to solidify the midfield. Number 19, Corbin Bone, and Brian Anunga. Up top, Justin Moose, Sonny Jane, and Brian Ackley moving from a midfield position all year long up into the forward position wearing the number 6 jersey. Here's a good shot here of the Wilmington Hammerheads in their unique Military Appreciation jerseys as the PA announcer is introducing the starting lineups. Zach, quickly before we get started here, you see the energy on the field. Talk a little bit more on what we're getting.
Brian Ackley moved up to the center forward spot, scored a great goal against Montreal this past week. He's someone that's going to provide a true target player up front that they can play off of. And Justin Moose, Sonny Jane, very dynamic players looking to move inside and outside, will support him.
Fans, we are going to break quickly for the national anthem. We'll be right back.
In just a moment. And ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the singing of our national anthem by the choir of St. Paul's Episcopal Church in downtown Wilmington. The choir is under the direction of Ronnie Wise.
And we are back live at Legion Stadium in Wilmington, North Carolina for tonight's United Soccer League's matchup. The visiting St. Louis FC and the home side Wilmington Hammerheads FC. Again, I'm Chris Libert, with me Zach Haynes, and you're watching YouTube. We're about ready to get set for kickoff, and we wait for both teams to take the side. Wilmington is in the unique camouflage jerseys, black shorts and black socks. St. Louis in the all-white strip. St. Louis is going to be going from left to right on your TV or computer screen. The Hammerheads, of course, going the opposite way, from left to right, however you're watching us on tonight's broadcast. Zach, we're about ready to get started here. The fans are packing in. A few more words here before we get started.
We expect both teams to come out in some sort of a 4-3-3 formation. We're confident that they'll be playing a back four and three up front. The question will be how they set up in the midfield. Will it be a double screen and a true attacking mid, or will they have the one holding mid and two attacking mids shuttling on either side? It'll be interesting to see how they match it up. Tactics of each teams. Will they be man-to-man in the midfield? Low block from the Hammerheads, or will they get out and press? Same thing for St. Louis. I think the opening 10 minutes will really give us a good glimpse of how each team's going to approach, and are they going to come out a little bit conservative and try to grind out a 1-0 win on the on the away side if you're St. Louis, or will the Hammerheads come out very aggressive, front foot, and look to press from the beginning? It'll be very, very interesting from the start.
Well, it's a perfect night for soccer. It's a little warm. There's a little breeze blowing. It will be in the back of the St. Louis FC side. It is on an artificial turf. One thing that you'll notice, there are some faint lines that you can see. They do play American football on this field here at Legion Stadium. It is a very narrow field. You'll see a lot of attacking throw-ins in both ends, long throw-ins getting in deep into the box here. But just an absolute good night here for soccer, and we're going to get set here quickly for our kickoff. St. Louis will start with the ball. And again, they are in the all-white strip, moving from right to left across your computer or your television screen. And we are getting set for the go-ahead for Mr. Mark Gorak, tonight's center referee. He awaits for confirmation from the fourth official, and he looks at his watch. We're about ready to get started. And there we are. We've kicked off Wilmington Hammerheads FC and St. Louis FC at Legion Stadium, Wilmington, North Carolina. See a first look at Parker Marr playing out the left side of his defense. And Kingsley Bryce just missing a ball. It would be a throw-in for Wilmington. And we have our first call of the evening. Will be a handball against St. Louis FC here. We're in early moments. Thanks again for joining us on YouTube. Wilmington Hammerheads FC and St. Louis FC. First minute, Chris Liebert, Zach Haynes. And we have our first free kick of the evening. And this will be Corbin Bone to stand over the ball and take this free kick for Wilmington. His service into the box. Ackley just missing. I do believe he got a touch and a great save there by Alec Kahn. So we'll have our first corner kick of the evening, and that's just over the bar there. Kahn having to make a great save, and we'll come to this near side for our first corner kick of the evening.
Let's hear those cowbells for your Hammerheads!
Again, a packed crowd here as we await Fran Martinez's corner kick. His service deep to the far side, but well cleared there. Chad Vandergriff. And a ball whipped in again, but easily collected by Alec Kahn. And we'll wait to see his first distribution of the night as he pushes his players up. A little pressure there by Brian Ackley. Again, a player that's moved from the center midfield into the forward position, the lone forward position right now for the Wilmington Hammerheads. And a big clearance there. Hammerheads, Andre Rawls. Good look, Justin Moose on the attack. Ackley to stay on side. Moose does find him on the near sideline. And Paul Nicholson. And a shot taken by Paul Nicholson, probably a good 2-3 feet over. Didn't quite get the dip there, Zach, that he wanted, but good to see the Hammerheads pulling the trigger from the outside. Here's a good look here, replay of the save that Kahn had to make. Great save. He actually took a nice little shot there as Troy Cole let him know that he was there.
Fantastic service by Corbin Bone there, the captain, the attacking mid. Whipped in service, perfect spot. Runners across the box, multiple runners. Really, really difficult for the goalkeeper to judge whether there's going to be a touch and he needs to make a reaction save, or does he need to see the ball all the way in, which he did in that case.
Series of balls back and forth as two teams try to figure each other out in the waning moments, early moments, I should say, here at Legion Stadium. And Martinez.
Chris, it does look like Brian Anunga and Paul Nicholson are going to line up in a double screen, a double pivot, if you like, in the midfield in front of the back four, screening them, giving that space to Corbin Bone as a true number 10, a true attacking mid, playing off of Brian Ackley. Whereas on the other side of the coin, as you see here, number 5, Sia Solko, is going to play as a lone defensive center mid, giving space to Gall and Hardware ahead of him as a right-sided attacking mid and a left-sided attacking mid.
And we see Siasolka there putting the ball out of bounds just on the other side in front of the Wilmington Hammerhead bench, and we'll see Fran Martinez for the Hammerheads patiently moving out of the back, trying to find Ackley, again the lone forward up top for the Wilmington Hammerheads, and we have a free kick whistled against Wilmington there.
The Hammerheads will look to use Ackley as a target when they need to. Obviously, their first priority is to build out of the back. They want to keep the ball on the ground. They want to build quality attacks. But Brian will be that outlet if they need to go long and clip one in and play off of him, his chest or his head.
Little trouble and confusion there between Fran Martinez and Troy Cole. Shot going to be taken. That's Siasolka having a shot and trying to see where Andre Rawls is positioned, so certainly not as much danger as Siasolka would like. So we'll see a goal kick for Andre Rawls. There's a good shot there. Head coach Dale Schilly of St. Louis FC. And a little short kick could possibly be hanging up in that breeze that's in the back of St. Louis, Zach, and we see on the far side. And ball's going to travel over the end line. Last touch there by Martinez. That's Charles Rankin who had a service there, blistering across, and it hits Martinez and just over the line, and we'll see a Siasolka corner kick. St. Louis's first corner kick of the evening. Siasolka and Nicholson able to clear. Here's Bouchou. Well defended there. Nunga's there. And Sonny Jane. Series of quick little passes in the defense. Series of good little moves there. No call. Ball going to be taken across, and Rawls having to come out and make a sliding collection.
It's too much from Brian Anunga there. He had the opportunity to set one of his center backs to either play a forward pass or to clear out if need be. Too many touches. Got stripped in a very bad area there. It's a let off for the Wilmington Hammerheads.
Flag stays down as Ackley is able to get ahead, and he waits for the rest of his support, and that's Moose to Ackley. A good bending ball, but it's going to be cleared by St. Louis as they are on attack there in the midfield. Hardware out to Rankin. And on the near side, here's Bryce for St. Louis. Series of touches across and all the way to the far side. And a shot taken and right into the hands of Andre Rawls. So one or two opportunities thus far here in the early minutes. St. Louis and Wilmington. Certainly what the fans like to see is action going both ways, but they desperately need a win here at Legion Stadium, Zach.
We mentioned before that it would be interesting to see how both teams came out in terms of their approach. We mentioned that St. Louis FC on the road needing points, maybe look to try to grind out a 1-0, 2-1, if you will. But it looks like they're going to be very, very much on the front foot. High line, back four's playing very, very far up the field.
There's a good look there on that last shot attempt by St. Louis, and easily saved by Andre Rawls. And here's Sonny Jane, quick little player on the ball. He finds on the outside. Andre Campbell several times comes out of the back from the left back position. And all the way back to Andre Rawls. Excuse me, Fran Martinez. I'm looking at the goalkeeper, about ready to say something, and got confused there as Fran Martinez was in control of everything. And we'll have a goal kick, St. Louis FC. So early 10 minutes, thoughts thus far from the action going both ways.
And the Wilmington Hammerheads Hammerheads would like to wish a very special happy birthday to Ryan.
There's a
Foreman.
little touches back and forth as Ackley puts the ball in the back of the net, and Alec Kahn, he's going to get a little talking to here by our center official, Mark Gorak. He has a smile on his face, and I think Ackley said, hey, if he wants to give me the ball, I'll give it right back to him. They played back and forth and finally wanted to put it in the back of the net. Well defended by Wilmington. Solid back four early on, had some troubles, finally got it sorted out to see Troy Cole and the addition of Fran Martinez coming to the lineup. And a big clearance there by Martinez.
Paul Nicholson a little bit shooken up there. Took an elbow to the back from number 9, Lynch, the center forward. Referee had turned away, didn't see it happen, but looks like he's shaking it off here. He's fine.
There's Bouchou right in front of the Wilmington bench. His throw to find Lynch up top. And Anunga's there. Again, Anunga trying to dribble out of trouble, doing too much in that central position. Certainly not where Carson Porter wants to see one of his players dribbling. And it's going to be played back to Kahn, Sam Fink. And a big clearance there by Martinez. Oh, here's going to be Fran Martinez. He's going to should pick up a yellow card caution for the jersey pull there. You'll see our referee coming into the screen now, and certainly, again, he'll be playing the rest of the match on a yellow card. So in the 12th minute, Fran Martinez.
Caution number 24, Fran Martinez.
Finding, here's a little yank of the jersey there, and he, not only a little yank, he gets a good full-on Sunday afternoon sack race pull on Jeremy Lynch there.
Martinez doesn't need to get so tight there. He has cover behind him. He's 50 yards from goal, and he gets so tight, he gets spun, and then he's forced to pick up the yellow card. Even so, not so sure he needed the professional foul there. There's a long way to go. He had cover in behind him.
Here's Justin Moose in the run, but it's just outside of his reach. Again, Andre Campbell, the left back, up top. So there's some switching going back and forth, players all over the place. Again, that's the left back all the way up right now to take the throw in. Andre Campbell and Anunga and Campbell in a series of defenders. And Anunga still on the ball. Nicholson, and a good tackle there in the middle. And a foot race there, and his flag stays down. He's going to be onside, and just took a bad hop. Jeremy Lynch was off to the races there, Zach, and the ball held up. Here on the other end, Ackley going to get whistled, and he puts a shot well over the bar, but will be called for a foul just inside of the St. Louis penalty area.
Brian's called for a foul there, but he's doing an excellent job here. First 13 minutes, he's running the channels. He's coming back to link the play. He's been a nuisance for Van de Griffin Fink, so he's certainly doing his job up there. He's making the center backs have to know where he is at all times, and that's step one. And then if he can get some runners off of him and they can link up a little bit better here in the final third, opportunities will come.
There's a shove in the back there as Justin Moose finds his way to the turf. So will be a free kick for Wilmington. We see Tom Parrott to put the ball back into play for Wilmington, and a quick restart. Series back and forth with Troy Cole and Tom Parrott. Another long ball to try to find Ackley up top, and he holds up nicely for him as He and Sonny Jane will connect several times this evening, and Jane still stays on the attack there. Corbin Bone to Jane. Nicholson's service into the box, and there's Ackley again. He takes a little shot there, and the referee has no emotion whatsoever as Ackley is still down on the turf. Taking a pretty good shot from behind is Brian Ackley.
We'll have to see that one on replay, Chris. It looked like the defender made no attempt to win the ball in the air, and it looked like a shoulder into the back of Brian Ackley before the ball arrived. If that's the case, if we're right, that's a penalty. It's a tough one. There's bodies around, but he looks like he does go straight through the back of Brian Ackley before the ball arrives. So tough one for the referee to make there. Tough call early days here, but I think it's a penalty. I think the ball is not there to be won for the St. Louis defender, Fink, I believe it was.
Yeah, Justin Moose unable to get there as Sam Fink gets longer legs in a 50-50 situation there, and here's Marr for St. Louis. 16th minute, 0-0. Wilmington Hammerheads and St. Louis FC.
The back four of St. Louis, as we mentioned before, they're squeezing awfully high. The back four are very aggressive, very much on the front foot. They're looking to press. And the Hammerheads have figured it out early on that these little clip balls into the channel, they're working. They're able to retain possession from balls like this up to Brian Ackley. He's done a really good job of working the channels. They need to look to get Corbin Bone and Sonny Jane making those runs as well. They have a little bit more pace, and that's where the threat can come. If Brian Ackley checks in, brings the center back with him, if they can get some of that pace in behind, I think it's going to cause some big problems for St. Louis if they continue with this really high back line.
Here's Troy Cole able to step in, and a missed touch there by Rawls. He's going to have some trouble, and it's actually going to go over out of bounds, and it's going to be a corner kick, but not the best of touches by the Wilmington Hammerheads goalkeeper. He knows it. Again, this turf sometimes bounces funny, spins funny, and I think there's a good look of a strong ball back to the goalkeeper, and he struggles. He's lucky that he wasn't in the framework and that ball trickling over the line. So we'll see another corner kick, the second of the evening for St. Louis FC.
Don't forget you can participate in tonight's 50-50 raffle and help support the
as
Battleship
Siasolka
North Carolina.
prepares to send his
$1
service
for one
into the
ticket,
box.
$2 for 3 tickets, or just $5
High
for
bending
10
ball.
tickets. Get yours now at the
And will
Battleship
be
table
a
at the Kids Zone, or be on the lookout
free
for
kick
volunteers
whistled in the
of the
favor
Battleship
of
North
the Wilmington
Carolina walking
Hammerheads.
around through the stands. The winning ticket will be drawn near the end of tonight's game.
Brian Anunga shows his strength there. Great perseverance to center mid, making his way up the field, adding to the attack, but great pressure in transition to look to win it back.
Another long ball attempted by the Wilmington Hammerheads. Haven't been successful thus far in those front runs, that time by Sonny Jane. We've seen Brian Ackley make a few of those runs as he's been in a few foot races with Sam Fink of St. Louis, and well defended there by St. Louis again. And a ball coming across, and two players there, Tom Parrott and Rawls. Rawls perhaps not calling it early enough, or at least Parrott not being able to get out of the way, and another corner kick for St. Louis. The third of the evening. Again, Siasolka, the designated corner kick guy evidently for St. Louis, takes the third one of the evening. Low line drive, slips through everyone, and finally cleared by Wilmington as Bushu watch it travel out of bounds for a St. Louis throw-in.
We are Anthem.
Linesman flag goes up on the far side, and evidence of the ball traveling over the end line, and that's going to be deflected off of Rankin. So
we'll see what Siasolka goes for here. On the last corner kick, he switched it up. Near post run by Gall, almost paid off. Good reaction by Paul Nicholson, even though he didn't make contact, but he did just enough to put Gall off. So we'll see if they switch it up and look for the back post here.
Yeah, and Andre Campbell has a good argument there. I don't think that the ball didn't touch him at all, and regardless, it's going to be a no overruling, and will be another corner kick for St. Louis, the fourth one of the evening. And Siasolka getting a touch but unable to keep possession, as we see Sonny Jane coming out with possession. And Parker Marr with a swing and a miss. And Tom Parrott able to come up with the ball there. Justin Moose. And Paul Nicholson, a good little turn. He's going to be in for the attack here. Shot going to be taken, and no danger there for Alec Kahn. But great to see there by Paul Nicholson coming from the midfield and getting an attempted goal.
Good burst forward by Paul Nicholson. It looks like the way Coach Porter set him up tonight is with that double screen of Brian Anunga and Paul Nicholson, one will make sure that they make a run here. As you see Paul Nicholson,
Ladies and gentlemen, we have yet
good effort,
another
left foot, not his
birthday
favorite
to
foot,
celebrate
but
in
we
the
love to
Hammerheads
see
house
one of those
tonight.
center mids making their way
Jasmine
forward to
Johnson
create a
turns
better number
13
situation for the
years
Hammerheads as they
old.
attack.
Welcome to teenagehood. Once again, a very happy birthday
There's
to
Bryce
Jasmine.
and Parrott battling for the ball, and Wilmington will, there's a swing and a miss there by Parker Marr. And another long ball to try to find Ackley, but Sam Fink, another little jersey pull, and he's gotten away with it there. And Ackley saying he was the one who was getting tugged, but he had a good right fistful of jersey there, but he's been rewarded as we see a second corner kick of the evening for Wilmington.
The clipped in balls to the channel. They continue to work with the high line of St. Louis. Brian Ackley's doing a very, very good job of being a handful and being dangerous for the front line of the Wilmington Hammerheads. Great perseverance there to earn the corner kick.
Here's Fran Martinez possibly looking for a short corner with Corbin Bone. Ball whipped across, but into the hands of Alec Kahn, the St. Louis goalkeeper. Quick distribution near side as Jameel Hardware finds Siasolka all the way over to the far side. 23rd minute, no score. Vandegrift, long ball up top, and possession stays with St. Louis FC. Again, St. Louis in the all-white jerseys here, full strip I should say, white shorts and socks, and the Wilmington Hammerheads in the blue camouflage jerseys to celebrate Military Appreciation Night and the 4th of July. And here's Anunga. Waits for Jane to clear, and out to Jane on the far. And just not able to find Ackley.
Fans, if you're thirsty,
Brian Ackley gets a handful of Sam Fink's shirt there, but referee doesn't see it. Tough position for him to make the call. But you got to love Brian Ackley looking to mix it up and press everything as soon as the center backs find the ball.
There's Corbin Bone with Anunga. Anunga trying a shot and well played outside by Justin Moose. Tom Parrott makes a decision and keeps it with Bone. Bone's in the box and then comes out, and he'll look to serve, but the ball stays inbounds, able to get the service off, but wasn't as quality as he would like here. But Wilmington still with possession. And a shot taken by Campbell, and Alec Kahn lays down and makes a good save there.
Really nice attack there by the Wilmington Hammerheads. We saw they were able to push 7 forward. They had both outside backs forward. They had 2 of their central midfielders forward, leaving 2 back versus the 1 center forward. Good sustain of attack there. Corbin Bones' cross a little overhit, but Brian Ackley did well to track it down and produce an opportunity, set it back for Andre Campbell. Came in on his unfavored right foot, but still a decent effort.
A little confusion again there, and the shot's going to be taken by Jeremy Lynch of St. Louis. Confusion again. Troy Cole, Tom Parrott, ball bouncing high off of this turf, and confusion on who's going to go with it, but I think the referee has awarded here there was a foul there as Troy Cole evidently was pushed as he was heading that ball, Zach.
Yeah, Chris, but I think he's fortunate there. It took a tough bounce, yes, but it should have never bounced in the first place. Troy's got to take it out of the air one way or another, and yes, he was maybe fouled in the play, but he's fortunate there because you let long balls bounce with center forwards on rushing, bad things happen.
Well, here's going to be a free kick for Wilmington just in front of
There's no foul there for me. That's really, really good hard-nosed play by Lynch.
There's a shot taken by Ackley and well saved by Alec Kahn. So certainly some action back and forth. Couple opportunities for both sides. Tipping the scales at this point, Zach, favor of?
I think it's pretty even, to be honest. I think the Hammerheads have had the more quality attacks in the run of play, but you have to give credit to St. Louis. They've done well to earn a number of corner kicks, so they are applying pressure of their own in terms of their attacking approach. But, yeah, very even. I think both teams well set up, and I think there's goals in this one. Both teams are playing on the front foot, fairly open, high pressing. I think we're going to see some breakthroughs.
And Tom Parrott unable to keep the ball in, and another shaky clearance by Rawls.
Like the effort from Ackley there. Does really well to hold off the center backs, and I think he's had an outstanding half. He's led the line for his team. He's probably excited to be playing back up front. He had a good run at holding mid for this team, and certainly with the change of position, he did a nice job for the Hammerheads when they needed him, but he's got a lot of experience playing up front throughout his career, and he's showing that he's hungry tonight. He wants a goal, but more than that, he's looking to bring his players into the game as well.
Here's St. Louis on the attack now, and the flag will go up for offsides as play continues. Referee sees the flag, gives a thumbs up, but allows Wilmington to play an advantage here. And Ackley to Moose. Ball through. Sonny Jane is going to be onside, and he's got two defenders in front of him, so he'll hold things up. He plays a pass with Ackley as he resets with Tom Parrott. And Moose unable to keep possession there, and Brian Gall quickly changing possession and far side there by Marr.
That's the first run we've seen from Sonny Jane through the middle as Brian Ackley checked in. Sonny made a great run in behind. We need to see more of that. It's dangerous. It's very, very difficult for center backs to pick up that runner coming from outside to in or out of the midfield.
There's a flurry of action just inside the St. Louis half there as Anunga comes out strong, and Wilmington maintaining possession. We see Corbin Bone with Campbell just in front of the St. Louis bench, and the flag will come up for Sonny Jane.
That's the one danger of playing against a high line is you have a little bit of possession and all of a sudden your front players start waiting on that offside line for the pass to be delivered. You still need to interchange. You still need to make sure that you're aware of where the defenders are so you can keep yourself onside. And if they do, I think they're going to have some success if they can continue to get the likes of Sonny Jane, Corbin Bone, and Justin Moose in behind as Brian Ackley comes back to the ball.
And a misplayed ball there by Alec Kahn in front of the Hammerheads bench as Andre Campbell gets us started back into play again and goes back to Campbell's feet. Far side, Sonny Jane. And a turnover for Wilmington as Vandegrift and Siolska, Siasolka starts for St. Louis. Good build up here by St. Louis FC. And a short service into the box and intercepted by Fran Martinez. Another long ball unanswered by Ackley. Good touch there by Justin Moose, and to the near side is Tom Parrott. Tom Parrott all alone as he waits for help and Moose to get around, and Paul Nicholson in the middle of the field. And a turnover there by Nicholson, unable to find Anunga. Here's Jeremy Lynch by himself, well covered. Troy Cole, he's in on a 1-on-1 situation. There's no foul called, and Lynch brought down. Well defended Andre Campbell.
Fans, you can enter for a chance to win your son or daughter a spot in the Hammerheads Youth Soccer Camp this summer. Just text CAMPS to 79274.
For me, Chris, I think we need to see a little bit more compactness in the midfield from the Wilmington Hammerheads. I think their back four is doing a fantastic job. They're dealing with everything that St. Louis has given them in terms of the final third. But we need to see a little bit either press and transition or drop off and get compact. And it's going to make St. Louis, it's going to make it difficult for them as they try to build their attacks going forward. But it's a little bit too open after they attack.
That's a poor turnover there by Justin Moose. Certainly would like a tighter touch there as he loses possession there. Fans, make sure you visit uslsoccer.com, get the latest and greatest news and live stats. Check out the new social media hub, uslsoccer.com. 31st minute, Legion Stadium in Wilmington, North Carolina. 0-0 so far. Couple chances for both sides. It's been an exciting first half thus far as a packed stadium awaits the first goal, hopefully for the Hammerheads as the crowd is thinking, but both teams again doing a good job of putting pressure on each other's goals. We see a throw-in coming here for Andre Campbell. There's a good shot there of Carson Porter and his technical staff on the bench for Wilmington. Carson Porter, in his first full year of the Wilmington Hammerheads FC, took over 6 games remaining in the 2014 season. And there's a little bit of help from center referee Mark Gorak as he picks up Brian Ackley. And here's a shot of the foul as Ackley gets hit pretty hard from behind there. I do believe that's Chad Vandegrift that brings Ackley down. So we'll see. Hammerhead free kick here as Bone, wearing the captain's band, whips the ball high into the box and easily caught there. And a little friction between Troy Cole and Alec Kahn once again. Troy Cole taking a little shot at Alec Kahn in the first couple minutes of the game as Kahn made his first crucial save of the game.
Spine, shoulder, hand, hip, knee, foot, and ankle.
There's
Rely on the medical team that Wilmington Hammerheads FC
Cole
knows
again
and
in the
trusts.
defense.
Learn more at orthowilmington.com.
Unable to.
And if you're a fan of the beautiful game and often find yourself at Hammerheads games cheering on our lads, well, why not join the Port City?
Paul Nicholson puts a little bit of pressure on the keeper there. No contact. Keeper just spills it. Could have been a good moment there for the Hammerheads. Not the greatest ball by Corbin Bone. Too much air underneath it. It was unlike his first one in the game from a similar position. Perfect trajectory. Whipped in with pace. That one a little too high. Should have been easy claim for the keeper.
Here's Hammerheads on the run again as ball finds out. Another Andre Campbell run and a big service, and going to find the whole other side of the field and out for a St. Louis.
Chris, the cross is overhit, but if you're Coach Porter and the staff, you're okay with that because Andre Campbell is such a threat with his pace and ability to cross the ball in from the left side. That's the first time they've gotten him in on the break, in behind, in a good position to whip a ball in behind. when he's getting forward with space in front of him, he's very, very important to this team, and that's one of maybe 2 times in this half that they've actually gotten him into a good position, so they'll want to see more of that.
And we start again here with a long ball with Troy Cole, Sonny Jane, but it's going to be defended there by Jacob Bushu. Siasolka, an attempt to go forward on his end, but Fran Martinez watches it travel over the end line, and we'll see a goal kick and a quick start for Wilmington. Troy Cole and Parrott quickly to Corbin Bone, just at midfield. Nicholson in a tight quarter is able to keep possession and stays with Bone. Tom Parrott unable to get past Sam Fink there, and St. Louis will try to find Jeremy Lynch up top, and they do in numbers with Kingsley Bryce just at midfield. And back to Parker Marr. Siasulska. And all the way back again in Sam Fink. And a turnover there. No foul called, so Wilmington will have their attempts to go forward as Justin Moose finds Nicholson. Anunga. Another long ball, Justin Moose. And a little tricky, tough ball there for Parker Marr, and will be a Wilmington throw-in. Possibly a good chance to see a long throw-in here. Again, we mentioned earlier in the telecast, narrow field here at Legion Stadium, and the Hammerheads decide to play short, and Tom Parrott steps on the ball, gets caught in the turf, and turns it over for his side.
I would imagine at halftime the team talk from both coaches will be show a little bit more patience with the ball. There are times to go direct, especially with St. Louis playing a high line. There's certainly moments where you'd like to catch them, and if you can get good movement up front, then it's certainly a quality attack. But there are times as well where it's just too quick, it's too rushed, and now you get yourself in transition. It becomes very tiring for the players if they're looking to press and win it back.
Ball whipped in and not out of danger as Sonny Jane tries an attempt, and there's Nunga's attempt, and it's blocked by a wall of St. Louis players. Here's Martinez, and a high out of the way attempt there, and possibly a reason why he plays in the back there, Zach.
A little bit ambitious, I would say, but you're a center back, you find yourself in that position occasionally. I'm sure you feel, why not?
Fans, don't forget, tweet your fan pics to @WilmHammerheads and #FanOfTheGame for a chance to be our Jimmy John's Fan of the Night to win a Jimmy John's gift card. Jimmy John's subs, so fast
and
you'll
a big
freak.
clearance there by Martinez. Charles Rankin to throw for St. Louis as he waits for his support. And back to Rankin. Defended by Nunga. Siasulska. And cleared by Parrott. Justin Moose unable to get past Parker Marr, and Siasulka. Good ball over to the far sideline, but 2 defenders there, and Andre Campbell and Sonny Jane. Goal kick forthcoming, 39th minute. Still no goals here, Legion Stadium, Wilmington, North Carolina. You're watching Wilmington Hammerheads FC on YouTube. Andre Rawls pushing his side up as he hopes to get a notch on the board as we approach the end of the first half. No real danger for Rawls. One or two situations for the Wilmington Hammerheads, and we'll see a throw here at midfield as Bushu. Good header there by Troy Cole. Jeremy Lynch didn't have any play on the ball and just waits for it as Cole gets past him, and Sonny Jane comes out with it.
They need to get Sonny on the ball more. He's their danger man. He's the one that can turn the game, produce something out of nothing. Been too few and far between in terms of finding him touches.
And depends if the ball holds up, and it does not, and it'll be just out of the reach of Andre Campbell, and we'll have a goal kick for St. Louis.
With 5 minutes to go in the half, both teams, it looks like the energy's gone out of the game just a little bit. They came out very, very fast-paced. Both teams playing on the front foot the first 10 to 20 minutes. Now it looks like they've both kind of stepped off a little bit. It's become a little bit direct, a little bit rushed, a lot of wasteful giveaways. If the Hammerheads can get into a rhythm and find a little bit more possession, I think they can really, really get to St. Louis in terms of getting tired, losing their legs a little bit.
Well, here's Corbin Bone by himself. He still has the ball, and shot going to be taken, and I think he had Alec Kahn beat there. He was on his heels, and Vandegrift, I do believe, with the deflection there, saving the attempt on goal, but a good burst of speed there by Captain Corbin Bone. We'll see Patrick Marr for St. Louis. Long ball up top. Shot going to be taken and deflected by Martinez, and a big foul, but not called there. Certainly it looked as if Tom Parrott was up in the air. And
yeah, it looks like they got him, Chris. They got him on the foul, and Tom Parrott.
That's Kingsley Bryce being whistled there. Is a good shot of Tom Parrott of the Wilmington Hammerheads being named to the USL Pro Team of the Week this past week. Again, Wilmington picking up 3 points in Canada, 3 points in the two games, winning one and dropping one, picking up a 2-1 win over Montreal FC on the first leg of their Canadian trip, and dropping to Toronto FC 2 on the second half of their trip up north.
Brian Ackley's done everything that Coach Porter could ask of him this half. He's linked the play. He's done a really, really nice job holding the ball up. They need more support. Corbin Bone has very rarely found himself in a position to link up with Brian Ackley. But also I think a big issue is those three behind Ackley, they're not stretching the field. They're not making that run in behind to create space for others. So they play off of Ackley, they get themselves in a good position, and it's 2 or 3 passes, and it just becomes too tight and predictable. We'll see. I'm sure it'll be an emphasis for Coach Porter having that balance in the second half.
Little dangerous ball there. Brian Gall sending a short one across, and it's cleared, and we'll see Parker Marr. Kids having a good time there with Sledge and his Frisbee. Sledge being the Wilmington Hammerheads mascot. And an attempt there. And Rawls will call Campbell off and walk this one up, as we haven't had any goals, haven't really had too many stoppages, probably 1 or 2 minutes added on at the most as this first half comes to an end. A little dangerous situation there as Parrott a little lax with his back pass to Troy Cole, but not in any danger. Ackley able to turn, and Sam Fink there. A little shove by Nunga, and he'll be whistled for the foul as Sia Solka is brought down. Referee thought about it and then made the decision there and awarded St. Louis with the free kick. Far side Rankin. Siasolka.
You see here how open the midfield is as the center back Sam Fink brings the ball out. He's able to find Bryce underneath in the pocket so easily, but credit to the back four. They clean up again. Their compactness and their shape has been excellent so far tonight. I'm sure they'd like to see a little bit better spacing in front of them so those entry passes into the front three aren't so easy to find and so much space in between the outside players and the central players for the Hammerheads.
Andre Campbell to throw. And here's Corbin Bone. Siasolka with the defense, and
that's much better from Ackley and Bone linking up there. Good hold-up play. Corbin Bone does well to go join him, combine. Ackley earns another foul on this left side. Let's see if Corbin Bone can get the right whip on the ball, the right pace, the right height, and create a chance as he did early on in the first half.
Well, the clock reads 45, but we will have at least a little bit here added on, and this is a dangerous opportunity for Wilmington, and Fran Martinez unable to get his header in the right direction of the framework.
That was much better by Corbin Bone. Ball may have been slightly behind Fran Martinez, but really, really good service there. Fran, if he can hit maybe more of a glancing header there towards the back post with runners in behind him, possibly a good chance there for the Hammerheads, but all in all, very good service from Corbin Bone, much better on that one.
So not much time left here as we haven't had too many stoppages in play, and we'll see if St. Louis gets one more attempt there, and Anunga with a big tackle, and Mark Gorak, the center referee, having words with Anunga as Anunga checks on Kingsley Bryce as Kingsley Bryce is brought down. There's a good look at here. Anunga's just a big, solid. That's a little bit embellished by Kingsley Bryce, but certainly a foul, and we'll see Siasolka with the ball served in the box, and a header there, and good save, and a shot taken and off of the bar. Jeremy Lynch's shot.
And Chris, the Hammerheads are fortunate there. That would have been an absolute killer right before halftime.
And I do believe the whistle has blown for halftime, and we'll see a replay there as Andre Rawls collides with Bryce, and just before that, Bryce was brought down. The man fouled, and Siasolka having a great service into the box. Lynch having an absolute laser of a shot, and we'll see here as both teams head to the locker room. Good flick on. That's a great save there by Rawls, and the shot taken, ringing the bar. You see the bar bouncing. Jeremy Lynch robbed of an absolute laser of a shot. But that's our first half. 0-0 your score. We're going to talk and see what went on in the first half here. As you can see there, St. Louis FC and Wilmington Hammerheads 0-0 at the half. We'll be back shortly to recap the first half. Thanks for joining us on Wilmington Hammerheads FC YouTube. And thanks for joining us. Hopefully you're enjoying the first half of St. Louis FC and the Wilmington Hammerheads FC at Legion Stadium. I'm Chris Liebert. At halftime, we tried to get some interviews of some current players and some important people to the not only the United Soccer Leagues but the organization itself. With me tonight, joining me is Hammerheads forward Aaron Wheeler. Aaron, welcome to the halftime show.
Thanks for having me.
Aaron, a little bit of a disappointing season thus far, but knowing that you're halfway through the season, the top 6 teams make the playoffs in the United Soccer Leagues. You're a couple games out of that. Has focus changed a little bit, or what's going on? Knowing that you picked up some points last weekend on a tough road in Canada, explain a little bit to the fans on what's going on in the locker room later these days.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was a semi-successful trip, to go to Montreal. It's Montreal and Toronto. We went up there and we'll take 1 win and 1 loss instead of 2 ties. We still get the extra point, and that was the game plan, to get up there and get at least 3 points. So it kept us alive and given us an opportunity, for after this break to come up to finish up strong. And anything can happen, and all you need is one little stretch run. So we're just focused this week on hopefully getting 2 results. Start here this evening at home, and then go on the road to Harrisburg, where points are very likely as long as the team plays well, it travels well. So going into this break, this is a really big part of the season for us, and a crucial 2 games.
Talk a little bit about how important it is to keep the momentum, knowing that you haven't gotten some of the results. Keep what has been done in the locker room as from players to keep the enthusiasm, knowing that the season's not a loss, to fight for that bottom half of the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the competition level, at training. It's continuing to get better, and it's the veteran leaders that the Corbin Bowens and guys like that you look to in this kind of situation where we're in a little bit of a slump. Things haven't gone exactly how we saw the season going, and you kind of lean on those guys who have been in situations like this, and that can help you dig out. So the atmosphere hasn't been too low. They always say don't get too low, don't get too high. It's never as bad as you think, and it's never as great as you think. So just try to stay even keel, and you're just really hoping, at some point the breaks and stuff will start going your way, and let's hope that starts this evening.
Now, you've spent some time in the MLS with the Philadelphia Union. Talk a little bit about certainly the league being at a true East-West conference now, 12 in each. That's 24 teams. Talk a little bit about what you've known at the MLS level, and also playing in the United Soccer Leagues for the level that the league is producing now.
Yeah, I mean, as far as being in MLS, obviously it's a top league in our country. It's substantially growing, and it's getting better and better with all the players that they're adding to the league and the money that the teams are willing to spend these days. So the product on the field is only growing, and with the franchises, spending the money, it's only going to continue to get better. It's going to bring more fans out. Almost every team has a soccer-specific stadium at this point. That's a criteria to bring a franchise in, So it's fantastic up there, and with the USL, they're really benefiting off of it because they're carrying 30 guys on their rosters up there, and they're dropping down and they're sending guys to the USL teams that maybe can't get a sniff on the first team, but they need to keep their fitness and keep their shape and keep sharp. So it's really benefiting the USL as well, because there's higher quality out on the field, and it's challenging younger guys to grow faster and become more mature and become men out there, instead of just being right off college, just trying to get your feet wet. Instead, you have to compete and get after it every single day.
Well, certainly there's a lot of excitement here in Wilmington at Legion Stadium. I'm going to put you on the spot here. We know what's going on in the world of soccer. Going to change speeds a little bit with the Women's World Cup team advancing to the finals of the Women's World Cup final in Canada. I'm going to put you a little prediction. We don't know who the opponent is in the finals on Sunday, but regardless, either Japan or England, what's your prediction of that game quickly?
Well, hopefully it's Japan, so the girls can have the revenge. I would say 2-0. I mean, it doesn't seem like anybody can score on the U.S. at this point. I mean, Hope Solo's back there anchoring them, and the back line has been absolutely phenomenal. So, and anything, I'm not giving anybody any points.
Well, thanks for joining us. We're going to recap the first half of tonight's St. Louis FC game and the Wilmington Hammerheads. Thanks for joining us, Aaron. Aaron Wheeler, Wilmington Hammerheads forward. Enjoy the rest of the game.
school for a phenomenal presentation. Let's hear some cowbells for our veterans. Go ahead, ring them out. Go ahead, ring them. Do it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I would like you all to take a moment and please stand and recognize somebody that is our local hero. A lot of times people are called upon to act in circumstances that they imagine themselves in. I would like you to stand and recognize the civilian police officer who was responsible.
And welcome back, soccer fans, to Legion Stadium in Wilmington, North Carolina for the USL game between St. Louis FC and the host Wilmington Hammerheads FC. I'm Chris Liebert with Zach Haynes. We're going to recap the first half of this match in a 0-0 battle. Zach, some things back and forth with the two teams. Tell us a little bit about that first half.
Good whipped-in ball there by Corbin Bone early in the first half. Collision with the keeper there with Troy Cole. Had to make a good save. Excellent job there by Corbin on the free kick. Quick move to the outside by Gall, making his way forward for St. Louis. No trouble for Andre Rawls. This one here we thought could have been a penalty for Wilmington Hammerheads. Early contact on Brian Ackley with the ball played in. He was in a good position to either hold it up with his chest or a knockdown header. Early contact. I think they're lucky to get off there. Paul Nicholson making a run through the midfield from center mid spot. Gets it on his left foot. Good burst forward. Not quite the finish he was looking for. Brian Ackley had an excellent half holding the ball up, making himself very, very big. Difficult to defend. Good effort there on the side volley. Last chance of the half here for St. Louis. Scrum in the box. A little bit fortunate from Wilmington Hammerheads to be let off. That was as the whistle blew for first half. But we're 0-0 going into the second half, so should be very interesting, the adjustments that each team makes. And we'll see, I'm sure, some goals in the second half as both teams are looking to play on the front foot.
So we await the second half kickoff here at Legion Stadium. There's a good shot of the Wilmington Hammerheads. Again, it's Military Appreciation Night here at Legion Stadium. And also after the game, they will be having fireworks for a packed house here. And the jerseys that the Wilmington Hammerheads are in is an authentic jersey to help raise funds for the North Carolina Battleship, one of the monuments here in Wilmington, North Carolina. And here, of course, St. Louis FC in the all-white strip. As we saw that last replay, Zach, that ball just absolutely rattling the crossbar, and Wilmington really escaping a huge bullet there going into the halftime break. So they're lucky to be still deadlocked at this half break.
Yeah, that was the best chance of the half for either team, and it was really St. Louis's best chance by quite some distance. Lynch rose very, very well on the ball into the box. Did well to knock it back across goal. Another scrum collision with Andre Rawls, and then Lynch comes back out and takes it very well off the crossbar. Unlucky, but all in all, very even first half. Possession was pretty much down the middle, I would say 50-50. Chances were fairly even. St. Louis earned a few more corner kicks, a few more set pieces. Hammerheads with a few more chances in the run of play. So, like I said, should be a very interesting second half to see what each team does tactically to try to put the favor on their side.
And there we are back in live action as Wilmington will be moving from right to left across your computer or television screen. And they are in the blue camouflage, black shorts, black socks. And St. Louis FC in the all-white strip, moving from left to right, however you're watching us this evening. So we're underway again, 0-0, Wilmington Hammerheads FC, St. Louis FC. And we'll wait to see if we have any changes to the lineups. Do believe that Wilmington has replaced Justin Moose, and in for him is Basagog.
That's a change that Coach Porter's been making quite often this season, bringing on Christian Bassagog as a super sub. He brings pace, he brings directness, he likes to run at the outside back, he likes to get service in, and I think this game's crying out for him, to be honest. Justin Moose, not so much his game is to get in behind, it's more of a guy to come underneath and link the play. Bassagog provides a little bit more of a direct threat, and against a team that's been playing with a fairly high line, I think Bassagog is someone that can bring something to the Hammerheads attack.
Well, there was his first look at one of the runs, but he was in an offside position as the ball was played through to Christian Bassagog, and offsides whistled against him, and Anunga clearing the ball, and Ackley still the lone forward up top, but he'll have help. And actually, that was Sonny Jane over there on that far side, Zach. I made a mistake. Bassagog's here in the 29 jersey on this near side. So Sonny Jane having a run at play, and he was the one whistled for offsides. But here's Ackley, Ackley and Corbin Bone being in, the ball coming in, and right away a shot not really being attempted there, but just a touch by Nicholson. I think it was behind him a little bit. But there's a good look of Bassagog able to get in, and that was a tough play there from center midfielder Paul Nicholson. Yeah, as we see here, a good ball played in, and it's just, I don't know, it's almost as if it hog ties.
I think Nicholson's in between two minds there, whether he wants to take a preparation touch and then with the second touch try to pull it back across goal, when in fact a little bit behind him, probably needs to set his mind a little earlier to whip across it with his left foot and look for the far post. I think it's a fantastic service by Bassagog there as the center backs go towards their own goal and look to prevent the easy ball across for the tap in. He found that cutback ball that's so difficult for center backs to defend, and I think it was the right spot. But tough one for Nicholson. It's coming in hard, and obviously had to get his feet sorted out.
Here's another look there at Bassagog. He certainly causes trouble, and he's going to get a throw. And Ackley having a chance at the ball, and well defended there as Chad Vandergriff comes out with it for, that's Sam Fink. And one more time, actually, Jacob Bushu, I apologize there, and turning sides and trying to get to see who that was. And do believe that we have a substitution also for St. Louis, and certainly in the game for St. Louis is number 15, Mike Ambersley. We'll see who he replaced. And I think Ambersley, don't see Jameel Hardware out there for St. Louis FC. So sure enough, a change by both head coaches. One in Christian Bassagog for the Wilmington FC, made by Carson Porter.
No formation changes for either team, it appears, but we do have a change on both sides. Ambersley coming in at one of those two attacking mid roles in that 4-3-3 that St. Louis FC are bringing, and looks like with the Hammerheads, as we mentioned, Bassagog coming out to the left wing spot, going to provide a little bit more pace to join in with Brian Ackley in the attack.
Here's the build up by Wilmington, patiently playing along the back, and a long ball again that's unanswered by Wilmington, and a turnover. Siasoka's been busy in the midfield for St. Louis. That's just in front of the St. Louis bench. Will be a throw in for Wilmington. Ackley and Jane. Jane trying to find Ackley as he turns the corner in a give and go, and Tom Parrott will have a throw. We'll come around to this near side. Here is Andre Campbell. Patient possession by Wilmington, and ball seems to bounce to St. Louis, and a long ball as they try to find
birthday in the Hammerheads house tonight.
Jeremy Lynch.
Happy birthday,
Does hold up
Greg
with the
Russ,
ball, and
41
he
years
turns the ball
old.
over there
Happy
as
birthday, Greg.
Brian Anunga comes out with it. No run by Ackley, so Corbin Bone by himself, and out to Sonny Jane. Jane to Ackley. Keeping possession is Nicholson. Campbell's ball deflected, and if it goes out over the line, which it does, will be a corner kick, the first one of the second half.
Better spacing there from the Hammerheads. They had numbers forward, but instead of crowding one another as it happened in the first half quite a bit, good width, good height in terms of center forward stretching the play, options underneath as well. Not everybody just waiting on the offsides line for the ball in behind. So a little bit better balance. I know that's what Coach Porter looks like he's brought to the second half. He wants a little more interchange, a little bit more in terms of one player stretching it, one player coming underneath.
Here's Corbin Bone, the man in the captain's band. A high, long ball across and bending and cleared out all the way past midfield, and Campbell's there for Wilmington to keep possession. Another long ball. Corbin Bone will be able to reach it, and it's deflected off of Bouchou for a Wilmington throw-in. 53rd minute. Still no goals. There's Bassagog. And no shot being able to be pulled off, and looked as if he was brought down, but unable to get a shot or a service there. But I don't believe any contact, as Mark Gorak, the center referee, had a clean vision and was real close there, and no foul.
Attention, please.
It's unbelievable skill by Bassagog. The way that he was able to wriggle himself through two defenders and get to the end line. It's so disappointing that he doesn't get anything out of that. Doesn't earn a corner, doesn't get a ball across the box, doesn't get a shot off from a tight angle. Just waited a second too long, but very, very good skill inside the box, very good ability. He looks a difference maker in this second half.
And Jeremy Lynch with a looking header towards Andre Rawls and keeping it on frame for St. Louis, and that's Brian Ackley all the way 10, 15, 20 yards ahead everyone as that far side official's flag comes up as he's in an offside position. Wilmington Hammerheads bench, head coach Carson Porter and his technical staff. Well defended there. There's three Hammerhead defenders surround Ambersley, and he's unable to come. And a good ball there. Sonny Jane is onside. And play on, says the referee. Sonny Jane. The referee's going to bring it back for the call there, as there was a handball, and as soon as he found that Sonny Jane wasn't in a position to go on, he's brought it back there. Little delayed. Certainly St. Louis players and fans are talking about it, and you can see it here, and they want to see you've made a decision to play on, and he's brought it back to the spot. Thoughts there, Zach?
Yeah, that's a difficult one. I love the fact that referee Mark Gorak lets them play on and gives the advantage there. It was an excellent play on, but then he allowed Sonny Jane to pick up the ball and try to get in behind and get in beyond the center back, and then he made a great play. So that's a tough one because the center back earned the right to get the ball back after the advantage was played. He simply outpaced the attacker there and was able to win it back. So maybe a second or two long, but I still like the official not just bringing the foul directly in.
Shot taken, and I think a couple NFL teams seeing footage of that might sign Corbin Bone and hopefully bringing that back as he launches a, you can see the yellow bar behind the soccer goals there. If that was an upright, that was straight down the middle, a good 30, 40 feet up in the air, Zach, not to be not to make light of the situation there for Corbin Bone, but certainly needs to do better in a situation there with a free kick at that distance. So the Hammerheads will reset again. Nearsighted and knocked out of bounds. Bushu defending on the play, and will be a throw in for Basagog.
The Hammerhead staff must have seen a weakness here on the right side of St. Louis. Bushu, Rinkin, in terms of their defensive qualities, because everything has gone down the left side so far for the Hammerheads, and they're putting a lot of pressure. It hasn't come to fruition. They haven't quite found that gilt edge opportunity that they want on goal, on frame, that final pass, the final shot, but they're putting a lot of pressure on St. Louis, and it's been difficult so far. Just over 10 minutes into the second half, St. Louis really hasn't gotten into the attacking half very much, aside from a couple balls held up by Lynch, and then really not much in the way of support. So fantastic from the Hammerheads in terms of their intent and their approach this half. Now let's see if they can take advantage and produce something of quality in the final third.
Misjudged there by Campbell as Kingsley Bryce wins possession for his side. And St. Louis will have their first real possession of the first half.
The official post-game headquarters for Wilmington Hammerheads FC.
It's going to be a foul whistled there, and actually that's a quick start there. Here's a good shot on the replay. Basagog into the box and going to be cleared. And Zach, you brought to attention there on that far side that actually Sonny Jane has left the game there and has been replaced by Cudis Lawal, the new acquisition from Seattle. So crafty player, almost similar in attack as Basagog on this side, on that far side there. So certainly some attacked. Here's a good shot as
Basagog's causing problems. He's getting into the 18. He's getting into the penalty box area and hasn't quite found that breakthrough. But again, intent is very, very good, and he's certainly brought some spark to this game. They'll hope that Lawal can do the same on the far side in the right wing spot. We've seen him play through the middle in his first game when he came over to the Hammerheads from Seattle. So I think they're looking to really, really bring more pace on the wings. That's what Lawal is all about, just as well as Basagog. A little bit more of a dribble, a little bit more of a 1v1 player, but two players that can bring a lot to the game on the wide areas.
There's a ball settled across the front, and a shot going to be taken. Not sure if it's gotten touched by Rawls, which didn't look as if, because he's got a goal kick, but Jeremy Lynch does a great job of getting into the attack there. Kind of caught in no man's land, and we'll look to see if he has an attempt at goal, if he's got a good strike. I think he should have hit the ball there, Zach. He's certainly in, and if he rips that, he's going to put Andre Rawls in a tough situation to make a save there. And a costly turnover there is Kingsley Bryce all alone. A shot taken, but gets stuck in the turf there as Kingsley Bryce takes a shot towards Rawls. So a little shakiness in the back by the Wilmington Hammerheads.
Fran Martinez needs to get his head back into the game. It's a tough play defensively. Doesn't do a great job as he gets spun there by Lynch, and then the very next one he gives it away to the midfield, and the reaction needs to be better. Back four has been excellent tonight for the Hammerheads, so hopefully bounces back here, gets back on the same page with Troy Cole and Andre Campbell, and they continue to keep this shutout and the clean sheet that they've well deserved so far.
Vandergriff on the ball for St. Louis as his team keeps possession in their own end, trying to find some seams to solve the Wilmington Hammerheads defense there, as two turnovers on the last two plays have caused problems, but Kingsley Bryce able to bring the ball down for St. Louis and keep possession.
A very special
Here's Lynch.
Birthday from the Hammerheads to Sabrina.
And he's going to take a shot, and well defended there is Fran Martinez and his clearance. There's a shot of the replay there, and he's defended. Troy Cole comes over and makes a play, so certainly Lynch does the right thing to serve that ball on that, watching that last replay. And
Looked like Rawls did get a touch. Lynch did really well to spin, pull back, cut it back, I believe, to Gall there, and touch and hits one over from a fairly close distance. But looks like Rawls did get a touch, so here's one by the referee.
Excuse me, Zach. Here's Siazuka with the corner kick for St. Louis. Shot going to be taken, and an array of players there, and we'll see Lawal having a good shove there, but seems to be shoulder to shoulder as no call is made, and the Wilmington FC side keeps possession here in the 63rd minute. Still no goals for our viewers or for our fans in attendance here at Legion Stadium, southeastern North Carolina. Bassagog well defended there, and Bushuk claiming that it's off of Bassagog there, but he's upset there and shows his opinion of the call. And Wilmington will await a Corbin Bone corner kick. Second one of this second half here. So Wilmington trying to pick up points. They have not won at home. And there's the long ball by Bone, and it's in the mix. And it's headed down by Anunga, and Alec Khan is there to just lay down and keep possession of that. And it's a lot of traffic around there. Khan doing a great job to keep that ball.
It's a good job by the Hammerheads so far this half. They've continued to put the pressure on St. Louis, and it hasn't been it hasn't been through midfield. It hasn't been a lot of possession through their midfield three, but what they're doing so well is they're playing direct, but they're getting it to their danger men. They're getting it to Bassagog here on the left side. They're playing off of Ackley, and it's calculated, and it's working, and it's been very difficult for St. Louis to deal with so far, so they're earning corner kicks. They're getting into good areas, and you feel like the breakthrough is going to come if, as Corbin Bone gives it away there, just doesn't make the right choice, not on the same page with Bassagog. If they can get onto the same page and produce that one moment, they're getting into enough areas to hurt St. Louis, and I think behind the ball they've done a nice job too. They haven't had too many problems with the front three of St. Louis so far.
No foul called there as Lynch is brought down, and Lynch wants one. He'll be rewarded with a throw-in here on this near side, and defended by Fran Martinez. Lynch a little upset with the lack of a call there. Lynch, the leading scorer for St. Louis, with 4 goals and 8 points total. So 4 goals and no assists there. Good play there, good build-up by Wilmington. Ball crossed and off of Bushu for another Wilmington corner kick. I tell you what, Bushu has his hands full there with Bassagog. Just when you think you're okay for the first 45 minutes and you haven't really been attacked too much by. It's a good shot of the replay you see. Yeah, it's against his body there and possibly a handball, but Hammerheads here with another Corbin Bone corner kick in the 66th minute. Ball whipped across. No one home for Wilmington, and Andre Campbell will be there for the Hammerheads to keep possession.
We know
Anunga
you love the
near-sided on
Hammerheads
Bone.
camo jerseys tonight, and
Shot
those
going to be
jerseys
taken.
are
It's going to be
ours
ripped and
for
well
our
saved.
tonight.
Easily
Available
handled
for
by
an online
Alec
auction
Kahn.
at WilmingtonHammerheads.com.
Great overlapping run by Andre
That's
Campbell to create the
UMCYA.
space for Corbin Bone to cut
Shipments
inside.
today and
Struck
have
it well,
support for the
but
Battleships
quite a distance
Generations
away.
campaign.
Pretty comfortable height for the
Proceeds
keeper, not
benefit the
quite enough angle on it.
Restoration Fund.
But the back four for St. Louis are starting to reel a little bit. They look tired. Hammerheads are putting a lot of pressure on them.
Bryan going to be ahead. Sorry, Lynch, excuse me. Lynch, good series of moves, and he's dancing left and right with the ball and finds Gall there to take a shot, and off the chest in an offside position is going to be Lynch, but a big save off the chest is Rawls, and Brian Gall has a laser of a shot on frame and can't quite see if Rawls was screened in that position. Regardless, though, stands up tall and takes one off the chest, and Jeremy Lynch in an offside position, unable to make a play in the second rebound.
Yeah, Chris, that's one of the few moments I think you can say the Hammerheads showed very poor defending there. Troy Cole gets turned around a couple times. Tom Parrott does very well to fill in for him and make sure that Lynch can't get the shot off easily. But ultimately, players around him, they overcommit back on top of the six, and they don't pick up the pullback. And a little bit fortunate there for the Hammerheads. It's a let off, but St. Louis starting to show some signs of building an attack through Lynch.
Well, that was certainly a hard shot there in the replay. You don't see any screen. That ball just came in so quickly. Andre Rawls unable to get his hands up in time, and you wonder if that was left or right by a foot, or if that's foot or so, that if that's going to find the back of the net. That's a good job there by Brian Gall, the number 8 jersey for St. Louis, to keep it on frame, to keep it low and keep it hard, and that was certainly an opportunity for the visiting side here from St. Louis.
I mean, sometimes you're going to be in bad positions. Sometimes the attacker is going to do something special, and you need your defenders, your covering defenders, to help you out, which in that case Tom Parrott did. But you need players here as we see the ball go to the top of the box. Brian Anunga, much better job of tracking back and getting into the area where those second balls are going to fall, or the pullbacks from the initial attacker, the first attacker. You can't have everybody just swarm the first attacker, the player with the ball. You need to make sure you pick up runners, because oftentimes that ball pulled back into that soft spot right around the penalty area. That's where your shot's going to come from. In that case, it did, but thankfully it was straight ahead. Thankfully, Andre Rawls was up and was able to make the stop.
Here's a little shot of Parker Marr and Lawal going at it. You see the replay.
Like to wish a happy birthday to
Marr
Cameron
gives
Parker,
Lawal a little
turning
shot.
34.
Lawal
Happy
gives a
birthday,
shot back as
Cameron.
well, and I do believe another substitution coming on for Wilmington, as you see head coach Carson Porter with the paperwork, handing to the player to hand to the official, and possibly 2 substitutions here coming on. And sure enough, as it is, coming in for Wilmington is going to be
And
Looks like
yet
Ross
another
Tomaselli and
birthday
Nick
in
Zimmerman.
the Hammerheads house tonight. John Wilson turns 55. Happy birthday, John.
we will let you know as soon as we get a break to see who they've replaced.
It looks like referees didn't let him come in on that stoppage, but it is Zimmerman and Tomaselli who are up and ready to come in. I would anticipate one of the center mids, either Paul Nicholson or Brian Anunga, making way for Ross Tomaselli to play that more box-to-box midfield role, and I'm guessing Nick Zimmerman will be either replacing Corbin Bone underneath Brian Ackley, or Brian Ackley as the center forward.
Jeremy Lynch does a good job to turn Troy Cole there, as he's had a good outing in this first 70 minutes of this non-score game. And here's Lynch again, and a little bit ambitious, and Rawls seven yards away from his post. You see that one goal line is 6, and he's a good yard and a half, if not 2, past it, and he goes to make a save, and he's given up a poor corner here. Actually, that ball was deflected. We'll see in the replay there. So I apologize to Rawls for he's made a good decision to try to get there. So we'll see a corner kick coming for St. Louis. Ball whipped in high, and little contact by both players.
You just won a Whole Foods gift
Sam
Press box
Fink
to pick up your prize.
and Brian Ackley tangle up, and the ball goes all the way over to the far side for a Wilmington throw in. Still no substitution allowed yet, or the players aren't up over that far side, so we'll continue as we are. Corbin Bone, Anunga. Far side ball. Bassagog alone, and he's at the top of the box. Takes a quick turn. Ball laid off is Corbin Bone, and he's through there and unable to get a shot off.
Yeah, St. Louis has had a difficult time getting out of their half, except for the exceptional play in the second half of Lynch. He's been a handful, and he's done a really nice job of linking the play, but mostly it's been on his own, and he's found the ball into his feet, and he's looked to turn the center backs, the Wilmington Hammerheads. It's happened a couple times to Troy Cole. Just needs to be patient. Show that they need to make Lynch show that he can bring somebody else into the game, and that somebody else can hurt them, and they can link up and combine. Because right now it's Lynch on his own. He's doing a nice job. Just a little bit more patience from the center backs of Wilmington Hammerheads.
A nifty little flick on there.
Again, that's the word camps.
And Jeremy
C-A-M-P-S
Lynch
279
causing some problems and into the box, and service going to be coming, and no shot taken. It's going to bounce off several players, but it's going to be last touched by St. Louis, so will be a goal kick.
It's another good moment from St. Louis, and it all comes from dragging a center back out, and now back four in balance for the Hammerheads, and they're finding space, they're finding pockets, and they're able to create things off the dribble, create things off combination. Make the front player, make the center forward hold the ball up, have a quality touch, and make the right decision to bring somebody else into the play.
Get a look there of Jeremy Lynch. Was down for a brief moment, but seems to be okay, and certainly might be something for Dale Schilly to look at, as Lynch has had quite a long night of runs, and there was a good shot of some Wilmington faithfuls. Nicholson going to be offsides, and flag stays up as we await to see the decision here.
This is your last chance to tweet your
little
fan
collision
picks to
between
@Hammerheads and #fan of the game for
Ackley and Sam Fink, the big center back for St. Louis FC, the number 3 jersey, as he gets up a little shaky. I do believe that he collided with the big forward Brian Ackley. Replay there, and that's back a few plays with Jeremy Lynch. Just goes down. I don't know if his ankle tweaked a little bit or he was just absolutely out of gas and needed a break, but something happened. He just drops to the turf on this far side.
Looks like he's back on, ready to go. Sorry, Chris, but definitely struggling with something. It looked like he grabbed his ankle for a moment, but it'll be a let-off for the Hammerheads. He's been by far the best player and the most threatening player for St. Louis in the second half.
Here's Paul Nicholson down now on the turf for Wilmington. You wonder if legs, it is warm. It's a warm night. The heat has been built up on this artificial turf. Referee has given the sign for substitution. I do believe Paul Nicholson can't go. And we'll see here in the replay. It takes a nice shove in the back, and there is a foul called there, and do believe that Nicholson is going to be replaced by Ross Tomaselli. You had mentioned that earlier. Also coming in the game for St. Louis FC is the number 2 jersey, Patrick Duty. We'll see who he replaces. Looks as if he's going to be replacing Kingsley Bryce, and sure enough, Patrick Duty.
Yeah, it looks like Coach Porter has decided not to bring Nick Zimmerman on. He was initially set to check in. He's changed his mind, and looks like, as we mentioned earlier, Ross Tomaselli will slide into the midfield, center mid spot, actually next to Corbin Bone now, and Brian Anunga.
There's Ackley. And onside, this is trouble for Wilmington as Ambersley takes a touch and a shot. And it's well defended there, and actually Tomaselli gets back quickly on defense as he's early interjected into the game, I should say. And here again, here's the number 7 jersey, Ross Tomaselli.
The Hammerheads need to be careful. Andre Campbell goes forward, and they leave all kinds of space on the left side here. It was just a simple ball into the channel, and Ambersley was free.
Here's a wall. Several touches. Keeps it in, finds this near side. And Basagog gets around. Boy, he's quick getting around that corner and served across, but no one home. Just in between Anunga and Tomaselli there. And it'll be a foul awarded to St. Louis as Tom Parrott gets a little talking to and an explanation just in front of Carson Porter as he's having a conversation with the 4th official.
Yeah, here's Basagog getting to the end line again. Does really well to pull it back into the only area at that point that it was going to find space. I think Corbin Bone does well to try to get to the near post. I'd like to see Anunga, who made his way into the box, hold his run for another second, and he's going to be into a good area to tuck that home or at least have an opportunity to do so.
There's a big collision there between Troy Cole and Ambersley.
All right, fans, you tweeted us your fan of the night pictures, and we have
A little shove from behind, and Bouchou having a service, but no one home. But
guys, wait for it.
Hammerhead's not out of danger yet. Shot going to be taken and deflected, and will be actually not deflected, just off the side of his foot.
The Hammerheads are starting to feel it a little bit here, I think, Chris. Coming off a very difficult week, a short week, Thursday, Saturday in Canada on the road, quite a long trip, and coming back and playing Wednesday at home. This is a very tough stretch here as we see the replay, and looks here, Fran Martinez does well to stand him up, and it causes number 6. Looks like it wasn't Siasolka, it looks like potentially Gall in there.
That's Parker Mall actually in the 6 jersey.
Sorry, Parker Mall comes in, doesn't catch it well. Fran Martinez, credit to him for staying up and not committing too early. But it's been a tough week for the Hammerheads, and obviously these are a lot of the same players that featured in the previous 2 games. So they've put effort in. They've looked to press and play on the front foot tonight. And I think here with less than 15 minutes to go, you're starting to see the legs go just a little bit as St. Louis is finding more opportunities, finding more space in the final third.
Well, I think this will be the end of the night for Jeremy Lynch. That's the 2nd time that he's just gone down, and a good performance by Lynch tonight. Rattled the crossbar just before the halftime break, and his night is done. So we'll see who comes on for him, and certainly an applaud for that young man. Actually, not quite sure if he's being replaced yet. He has to come off, Zach, because the technical or the medical staff has come on. And actually, I apologize, Jeremy Lynch, I thought he was being substituted there, but he's actually back on the pitch again, possibly to finish this match. An attempt at a long ball there by St. Louis, but no one home but Wilmington defenders as the clock hits 80. Certainly 10 minutes left of regulation and probably 3 minutes or so added on at this point in time. No goals, few injuries, stoppages. And there's a wall. Crafty with the ball, still have it. Finding Bone up on top of the 18. Shot going to be taken, is deflected. Goalkeeper coming out as Alex Kahn punches the ball high and away.
Have you visited the new
St. Louis dodging a little bit of flurry of activity by the Wilmington Hammerheads.
Check out the new social media hub.
That was the pass of the day, Chris, by Ross Tomaselli. Fantastic diagonal ball out to Lawal, and he does well to get into the area, slip one back to Corbin Bone, who possibly one touch too many, but credit to the center backs for staying strong, coming out, standing up, and getting a block in on Corbin Bone's shot.
Here's a foul whistled.
Yeah, Lawal cuts it back, does well to pick out Corbin Bone here, top of the 18. I think he makes the right decision there, putting it on his left based on the angle of the pass into him. But again, center backs have done fairly well here tonight for St. Louis. At times, they look like they've gotten themselves into difficult position. Credit to the Hammerheads, but they seem to make the play. They seem to make that block that they need to effectively have the Hammerheads go from what is a good opportunity, what is a good chance, but not ultimately into a good shot on goal, on frame to test the keeper.
That was Jameel Hardware that was down on the play. I think we had announced earlier that he had been substituted, but I do believe Charles Rankin was the player, the number 11 jersey for St. Louis, that had taken the break. And here's an opportunity for St. Louis. The flag stays down on this near side, and Bouchou serves one. It stays in bounds in a series of balls back and forth. We've seen several high crosses from both sides, and it's a crowd favorite as always. The good old-fashioned full-on bicycle out of your own third, Zach, and I know as you're shaking your head, partner, that you absolutely love that, being a coach of soccer yourself. And here's a big run here as we're going to see Basagog. Big service across and just out of the reaches, an absolute quality service. Brian Ackley feels that he was the front runner and wanted the ball there, but you can't argue with the service there. We'll see a good look here. It's ball played in. Ackley felt that he would want it on the ground. He's given the hands up sign there, but you got two front runners. You got a front post runner and a back post runner. You can't fault Basagog there for doing his job.
May have been slightly overhit to the back post, but you can't be too frustrated with Basagog. He's had a fantastic effect on this game here in the second half, and we laughed about the bicycle clearance, Chris, but then he makes a 60-yard run forward and gets in behind and whips a decent ball in, maybe slightly overhit, but still he's been the one guy that has produced attack after attack for the Hammerheads. And credit to the rest of the midfielders in the back four for getting him the ball into good areas, but he's done a lot of damage here on this right side, and I think he's been the guy that they've wanted to go through, and I think they've also targeted this right side as somewhere they can get at in terms of the St. Louis defense.
Well, we're going to have another substitution here as we await for Brian Ackley, who's been down. He took a shot in the back there. I'd see if we'll get a replay there, but certainly a substitution for St. Louis I saw coming in over that fourth side, and referee checking on Ackley to see if he is going to be able to finish this game. Kentaro Takada.
Yeah, it's hard to tell with Ackley if he's picked up a knock or if there's any kind of injury, but he certainly worked his socks off tonight.
So we'll see a brief stint here, a couple minutes of St. Louis number 10 jersey, Kentaro Takada. Here's another confusing situation for Fran Martinez and his back four, and ball will be signaled out of bounds. There's, you see, Takada.
One of the developments of the second half, Chris, it's something that Coach Porter and the staff must have addressed. They felt like St. Louis was not looking to play through their midfield three in the first half. They were playing very direct, and it looks like instead of having Corbin Bone back in more of a triangle joined in with the two defensive mids, they've pushed him next to Ackley and more support, a little higher up the field, and I think that's been a good development for the Hammerheads as well. It's almost become more of a 4-4-1-1 or a 4-4-2 where he's closer to Ackley. He's been able to work off of Ackley more and also been able to link up more with Basagog and finding him in good areas. So good adjustment at halftime by Coach Porter and the staff, and I think that's been a good change here, as well as some of the substitutions made.
A little too much dribble there by Andre Campbell as he turns the ball over, but Wilmington comes back out with possession as it travels all the way back to Troy Cole, center back for Wilmington. And here's another long ball trying to find Ackley. Ackley holds on to the ball but will be whistled down.
Heads up,
signals that
fans
he
who are
was
on
a
our
shoulder,
visitor
but
side this evening. Remember, directly following the match, please make your way over to
referee
the
having a
team
difference of
side for the
opinion there.
fireworks display. Again, directly following
And a
the
substitution,
game, we'll need all of
two
our
substitutions
fans on the
actually
visiting
incoming
side
will
to make
be
your way over to the
Nick
home
Bibbs
side for the fireworks display.
for St. Louis.
Yeah, definite handball there. Uses his arm to corral it a little bit.
And then Zimmerman finally gets his chance to come in with really 4 minutes left in regulation and a couple minutes of added time. But here's
Well, Zimmerman provides a different look for the Hammerheads at the center forward spot. He's not going to hold the ball up like Ackley. He's not going to be a big target in terms of someone they can play through. But what Zimmerman does is in and around the box, he's shown he's got a few goals this season. He is technically sound enough to take a chance. And with all the service that Basagog's been getting in to the penalty area this second half and Lawal adding some of his own, Zimmerman might just pop up for a chance here in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, Zimmerman actually being the leading not only point scorer but goal scorer for Wilmington, having 3 goals and a total of 6 points only for Wilmington, so no assists, but 3 goals as he tops both squads leading scorers in single digits, which explains a little bit on the reason why the placement in their table is so low. Not many goals scored by either squad this year, but here's a try for Wilmington to change that, pick up their first win at home. A wall stops dead in his tracks, stops his defender, and he holds on to it a little bit too long, and no shot or cross taken off. A good ball played there by Ross Tomaselli as his side keeps possession. Tom Parrott, simple little ball into Anunga. Whipped across and unable to find Zimmerman.
Handball there by Lynch.
Free kick, and here's a good shot of, I do believe Jeremy Lynch is down again for a 3rd time. Actually it's not. I do believe this is might be hardware.
And once again, a heads up to our fans on the visiting side.
Yeah, that was a case there, Chris, as we saw the replay of Lawal get into a good area on the right side. He looked to cut it back, actually stopped the ball, and I think that's a case where the turf, it just hangs up a little bit, and the defender anticipated him looking to go by, and he actually backed up and maybe even slipped a little bit, and Lawal found space, but it just didn't materialize into anything. It was a little bit of an awkward play, but again, finding Lawal in a good area. They've done a nice job of side of the 18 in the channels, finding Lawal and Basagog. Just haven't quite made that connection in terms of a service, finding one of the players, making their way into the box.
So we see another substitution for St. Louis, and on comes number 4, Oscar Gasecki. And I do believe that that's going to be the night for Jameel Hardware. Looked as if he was cramping there and coming off for the evening. So certainly going to be some added time applied here at Legion Stadium. Could see in the realms of 5 minutes, Zach, of injury time. There's been several stoppages, no goals, relatively clean game, not too many bookings, but I think we've seen an example of some heat and humidity as several players have taken some knocks and have gone down in some crampings in the waning parts of this game. But Wilmington's not done yet. Here's Ross Tomaselli finding Zimmerman for his first touch of the game, and a big tackle coming out, and first example of the defense of Nick Bibbs. So as far as the regulation is concerned, there's 90 minutes on the scoreboard and on the scoreboard at the top of your screen. Legion Stadium, 2 teams here, Wilmington and St. Louis. Good chance that.
And the official time is now being kept on the field. We have 4
Credit to
minutes
Hammerheads
of
here,
stoppage
Chris.
time.
We said in the 78th minute that it looked like they were losing their legs a little bit. Been a very, very long 7 days or so for them in terms of 3 games in the span of, well, 6 days actually. And they started to look like they were fatiguing, made a couple subs, And I have to say they're certainly going for it. The last 12 minutes, last 10 minutes, last 8 minutes in particular, they've looked like they want the win. They want the 3 points at home. So credit to them for continuing to push numbers forward. Now they just need that one moment that'll make the difference.
So officially the time is being kept now on the field, and sources possibly say that they saw the digiboard this evening. I talked to the crew this evening, was inoperable, and I do believe that the fourth official on the far side has held up 4 minutes, and 4 minutes certainly is the time now. It's been confirmed. So another couple minutes, 2 or 3 minutes left in this contest. And here's a front through ball for Ambersley, and he does a good job there. And cross and service, and a big high boot and a shot taken, but it's going to come back and all for naught, as Jeremy Lynch's boot was high up and will be a dangerous play, and Wilmington will escape another bullet there. But Jeremy Lynch has actually had a wonderful night tonight. Yeah, it's Troy Cole's lucky that he didn't have his head taken off there, and 92 minutes gone by as we see Lynch strolling back into position. We'll see one or two more bursts of activity here for Wilmington. There's Tomaselli to Campbell. An attempted forward pass there, and to no avail. Tomaselli. There's a good ball. Bones in, and here comes Basagog. Dangerous as we've seen thus far tonight. And a ball crossed, and just no one home. He does a great job to get the ball to the center spot. And cleared into the stands is Andre Campbell.
The runners in the box there, they just have to keep it alive for just another second or two. Basagog, as we see here, he does so well to get that service off. And I know it's unpredictable. I know it takes deflection. But you see there that the three Hammerheads players in the box have already run themselves out of a goal-scoring position. They have to stay alive. They have to keep moving. They have to keep working to find space. Even if they don't make the connection with Basagog on the initial run, they have to fan out again. They have to recycle their run and keep it alive, because I still think that's a wonderful chance, and Basagog once again has gotten the ball into a good area. You have to say, Chris, well defended by St. Louis, and they've done so in critical areas all night. But with the service coming into the inline and so many cutbacks into or in and around the PK spot, you just feel like maybe should have seen more shots on frame, more gilt edge chances, as we talked about earlier, than the Hammerheads have gotten tonight.
Well, these Wilmington fans have not seen a win, a Hammerhead win at home this season. And if this stays true as we approach the 94-minute mark, I don't think that they're going to get that this evening. And if this stays true, the Wilmington, and there's the final whistle there. Mark Gorak has put this one to rest, and this moves the Wilmington Hammerheads again winless at home to an overall home record of 0-3-5. That 0 being certainly a goose egg that they want to erase there, but they do pick up one more point at home, bringing them to 12 on the season with an overall record of 2-8-6. St. Louis picks up another point, still remaining one game ahead of the Wilmington Hammerheads with 15 points. And that puts our game to rest there. A few chances on each side. Wilmington will get on the road again this upcoming Saturday, so a quick turnaround. You've mentioned, Zach, that they've had a long trip to Canada. This game here, hot and humid, heavy on turf, and they travel up to actually play against, I do believe they go to Harrisburg, which is another long trip, and that's going to be tough for that. St. Louis will be seeing the Charlotte Independence as they conclude their second leg of the North Carolina trip. But thoughts on the game here as we stay in a 0-0 score, Zach?
I think it was fairly even overall, Chris. I think the Hammerheads certainly had the edge in the second half for sure. It's a tough one because you can see that the Hammerheads, that you can see the intent, you can see that they wanted to be aggressive in the second half, and I think quite a bit of credit is due to them in terms of the way they approached the second half. the 3 points were important for them, and they went for it. I just don't think physically they were able to sustain attacks, able to press quite as high at an intensity they wanted to for the entire second half. And so when they needed to maybe be sharp in front of goal or sharp with the final pass, it just wasn't quite there tonight. But the performance in the second half, Bassagog's introduction into the game, that changed everything. Certainly put St. Louis on their back foot, and they had better moments than St. Louis, but again, credit to St. Louis too. They held up well in the penalty area, and they made important plays in the critical areas when they needed to. So all in all, I think a solid effort for the Hammerheads, but we know, let's be honest, they need more at this point in the season.
Absolutely. They've gone into the second half of the season. They just need points if they are going to get into that 6th spot or any of the spots for the playoffs. So the next telecast that we will be with you, Wilmington Hammerheads FC on YouTube, will be July 25th as the Wilmington Hammerheads host Louisville City FC. And it just needs to get better. Unfortunately, the Hammerheads, they are better than what their record shows, but they need to pick up points certainly at home. And again, we talked about no wins at home, but a good display of soccer here. The fans should be happy as we await for fireworks there. But we're going to sign off. It's been a great night, partner. I appreciate all the help and all the comments. For Turbo Sports Group, we thank everyone in production. For Zach Haynes, I'm Chris Liebert, 0-0 St. Louis FC and Wilmington Hammerheads. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.